Welcome to show number 7. Good people out there. I hope you're enjoying your Friday. We're a little steamy up here in floor 3, Joyscream Studios, but we are so glad to be here to play music for you. We're going to start out with one from the 1920s, a bit of a body number that we've always loved playing. Hit it! Nice and dirty. Well, I knew a gal, she lived on a farm. She had corn in the crib and hay in the barn. She had an old cow, she milked every day. She wouldn't sell milk and butter, she just gave it away. She had a habit of giving everything away. She had chickens in the coop and pigs in the pen, flour in the cupboard, she had wheat in the bin. This old gal, she lived way down south. She had plenty of meat, Lord, in her smokehouse. She wouldn't sell it, no, she just liked to give it away. She could not help herself. Tired of the country, she wouldn't farm no more. She moved to the city, got a job in a store. She was doing all right till one day when, Lord, they caught her giving goods away to the men. She had a habit of giving everything away. Very generous lady. Well, she lost her job, but she didn't care. She went right down to a honky-tonk and drank some beer, drank some corn liquor, some homebrew too. Lord only knows what it made her do. She had a habit of giving everything away. She would not sell it, no, she just liked to give it all away. Thank you for introducing me to that song. That's a good one. One by Clayton McMitchin.
Well, we're going to do an oldie from Ireland. We're going to begin, do the first of our songs in honor of the Memorial Day weekend that's upon us.
Mrs. McGraw.
We all live in a great debt to those who've served. They protect our freedom, so we have the freedom to sleep till noon and play music and not really work for a living, right? No, that's all wrong.
Yeah, they might think we sleep till noon, then we wouldn't.
Although our son that's the musician bar mitzvah celebration. Our 14-year-old son just slept till noon. There's a solemn ceremony in musician households for the.
Otto, we forgot to bring you breakfast in bed. We should have done something. Sorry.
Shirley Temple mimosa or something. Anyway, here's one. Mrs. McGraw, the captain said, do you want to make a soldier out of your suntan? With a scarlet cloak and a three-cocked hat, Mrs. McGraw, wouldn't you like that with me, Tooria? Father diddle-ah, toorai, hoorai, hoorai. Mrs. McGraw lived by the seashore for the space of 7 long years or more, till she saw a ship sailing in the day. That's my son Ted, won't you clear the way with me, Tooria? Father diddle-ah, toorai, hoorai, hoorai. Then up comes Ted without any legs, and in their place 2 wooden pegs. She kissed him a dozen times or 2, saying, Teddy, me boy, it isn't you with me, Tooria. Father diddle-ah, toorai, hoorai, hoorai. Oh, was you drunk or was you blind when you left your 2 fine legs behind? Or was it walking along the ways, wore your 2 fine legs from the knees away with me, Tooria? Father diddle-ah, toorai, hoorai, hoorai. No, I wasn't drunk and I wasn't blind when I left me 2 fine legs behind. But a cannonball on the 5th of May swept me 2 fine legs from the knees away with me, Tooria. Father diddle-ah, toorai, hoorai, hoorai. Oh, Teddy, me boy, mother cried, them 2 fine legs was your mama's pride. Them stumps of a tree won't do it all. Why didn't you run from the cannonball with me, Tooria? Father diddle-ah, toorai, hoorai, hoorai. It's all yours. I do proclaim between Napoleon and the King of Spain. By heaven, I'll make them rule the time. They swept the legs from a child of mine with me, Tooria. Father diddle-ah, toorai, hoorai, hoorai. Mrs. McGraw, the captain said, do you want to make a soldier out of your suntan? With a scarlet cloak and a three-cocked hat, Mrs. McGraw, wouldn't you like that with me, Tooria? Father diddle-ah, toorai, hoorai, hoorai. Mrs. McGraw.
Oh.
Well, we're going to do one that I wrote for the 6-string banjo. I originally wrote this on the banjo, and I kind of wanted to be played with the fiddle. And then the first recording I did of it on my Circles album, I did it on the guitar. And then I went and redid a version on my banjo record. And I don't remember. You've been playing it with me all along. Let me say something charming while I'm working here.
Something charming. We've had quite a week. We've had quite a week.
I'm jealous of anyone who didn't have quite a week, but Always wanted to have a quiet week in Lake Wobegon. This one's going out to Ken out in South Dakota. He wanted to hear this. One called The Unknown Soldier. And we'll think about the fallen. Thank you. The Unknown Soldier. We're going to change our format a little bit tonight, and Joyce is going to do Joyce will do a couple solo tunes.
This one goes out to Hope. What a great name. She lived her name. Was it yesterday? We were on speakerphone and having a conversation, Steve, about our new boat. That money, that hole in the water that you pour money into. I've always hoped that our boys would grow up on the York River a little bit more, and the canoe it's a tidal river, so it's tough. The canoe wasn't quite enough for them, so we got a little free motorboat on Craigslist, but it's no longer free. But we're gonna work on it anyway. Hope was hopeful about our boat, and I wanted to hear a song. I want to send this out to her. She sent me pictures of some flowers that are blooming in her yard today that, Harvey, you gave them to her. Some iris and some bleeding hearts. And I'm going to send this out to the spirit of Pete Hutlinger, who's flying around there somewhere. Man, what an inspiring musician, guitar player out of Nashville. And when Harvey was had time to put on Seacoast Guitar Society concerts, Pete was one of the people who came up to play that. And when he was up, he came into our home studio with me and recorded this song. So it's on I don't remember what album it's on. But it's called Trusting Spring. And when you ask Alexa for it, it just says, whenever I ask anything for Joyce Anderson, it always says, oh, here's Harvey Reid and Joyce Anderson. You just can't. I just don't exist by myself. But that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm just Harvey Reid and Joyce Anderson. This is called Trusting Spring. And I'm going to hear Pete Hutlinger playing on it a little bit. Tried so hard to set you free, afraid of what we'd found. Oh, what holy mysteries in this love abound. Ice to water, the river swells, flows swift to the sea. Your faith beckons, I feel our dreams taking hold in me. The riverbanks are turning green, the birds are filled with song. It's hard at first to trust this spring after a winter so long. It's hard at first to trust your heart, to know it's right and wrong. There's the place you think you want to be, and there's the place you belong. I thought that love would be easy, sweep me off of my feet, but it's a long way mountain spring to the depth of the sea. The riverbanks are turning green, the birds are filled with song. It's hard at first to trust this spring after a winter so long.
Sing that song more often.
I love that song too. Oh, Pete, what a beautiful soul. Well, on this Memorial Day weekend, we're truly humbled, and I'm going to sing a song called Minstrel Boy. It's a ancient melody, and oh no, Sir Thomas More wrote the words, and it's often sung at funerals of fallen firemen a lot, and soldiers.
The melody was called The Moraine.
The Moraine, and I'm going to just start with a quote from, you're going to know who that is too. Anatole France, yes. So I need Harvey with me at my side here to be my hard drive. I'm glad that God has given me the harp to handle and not the sword. will find him. His father's sword he has girded on, and his wild harp slung behind him. Land of song, cried the warrior bard, though all the world betray thee, one sword at least thy right shall guard, one faithful harp shall praise thee. Minstrel fell, but the foeman's chain could not bring his proud soul under. The harp he loved ne'er spoke again, for he tore its chords asunder, and said, no chains shall sully thee, thou soul of love and bravery. The songs were made for the pure and free, and shall never sound in slavery. Those are some fighting tunes there at the end. It's wild to imagine people with bagpipes riling the armies up with those tunes. And sometimes when you're playing those in a bar, you really do rile people up. I'm going to step aside here. Let me help you get this where you need it.
All right, I got a couple of shout outs. We got, I think Kevin and Kathy are over in Portugal. They said they've been listening. I think maybe they're awake. And Ziggy's over there in Germany.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we got.
That's great.
And every week now we have it's becoming a tradition for us. Let me get all my tools here. See, if some people, they wonder what's the difference between pop and unpop music, but one of the here in unpop music we tune our own instruments. That's one way. In the world of pop, you just reach over like a trapeze artist, and someone hands you a perfectly tuned instrument. So one of the things we've started doing in our weekly broadcasts here is celebrating some musician friends and doing a song each week by people that we think a lot of. And now we're going to start looking like we show favoritism because we did a David Francis song last month, but I just don't know a better Memorial Day song than this one that David put on his Far End of Summer CD here. And David was born in Scotland. He lives in Canada. This song has a lot to say to all kinds of people. There's a Canadian word in the title. It's called The Flowers of Saskatchewan, and there's a Canadian word in the first verse. I'll try to say Calgary carefully enough, but now that I've said it, you'll recognize it. So we troubadours and minstrels, when there's not a real dovetailing of music with warfare, you know. Musicians have confusing, and there's at least 3 different roles. Joyce mentioned the one where we actually play the music while they march into battle, or we sometimes play for their funerals. And there's this very old class of songs also where the ballads celebrate the deeds of the warriors. We're not really that kind of musicians. And there is even some great old stories of the King Alfred of Denmark, I think it was, snuck into the Saxon camp there disguised as a harper and got important information that allowed him to win the battle. We're not that kind of musicians either. We're the ones that play for both sides of the army the night before the battle, and then we get the heck out of the way before the battle starts. The kind of song I'm really attracted to, there's a group of songs, and we're going to do a couple tonight, that really seem to show some real empathy for the fallen, the people themselves, and especially their loved ones who are suffering also. So, The Flowers of Saskatchewan. Oh, the sun was shining on the English Channel on a ferry off the coast of France. It was summer and a pleasant morning, and high above gulls wheeled and danced. As we sailed under the cliffs of morning, the gun emplacements stood in ranks. I walked over to the railing, and I heard the ghost of the Calgary tanks. Then I remembered pictures that I'd seen in history books and magazines of 3 men standing, smoking, staring among the dead men on a rocky beach. And in the light of that pleasant morning, as we sailed under the cliffs above, I thought of all their silent prayers and the final thoughts of the ones they loved, left behind at prairie stations, waving to their their pride and joy. Waving to those smiling faces on the soldier boys. No waves of grain will claim the fallen, just the channel cold and gray as steel. No return to the rolling prairie, just a silent cross in a lonely field. The sun was shining on the rolling prairie, far from the channel, cold and gray. Shone on families, friends and lovers of the prairie boys who fell that day. They could not know on that sunny morning the future held for them no joy. To wait in vain at prairie stations, to wait in vain for the soldier boys. The sun was shining on the English Channel, on a ferry off the coast of France. It was summer and a pleasant morning, and high above gulls wheeled and danced. The first Memorial Day celebration happened on May 30th, 1868, in honor of the Civil War fallen. So I'll do a thing I call my Civil War medley. I've done this for years. On the auto harp, this is just some straight ahead chromatic style auto harp playing. I'm just going to play each of a tune by each side of the conflict. Play each tune through twice, not show favoritism, not get in the middle of anything. And I'm going to send a shout out to the Hutchinson family singers of Milford, New Hampshire. Very mysterious and fascinating musical group they're kind of like in the Neanderthal DNA of us modern troubadours. There were 11 kids in that family, and they 4 of them ended up in this singing group. They were the most popular group in America in the 1840s and 1850s. And they were, it was Abby played the guitar and sang, and her 3 brothers, Asa and Judson and Jesse, played. There was 2 fiddles and a bass, and of course we don't know what they sounded like. So they might have been a prototype of a bluegrass band or a folk group or even a barbershop quartet. They apparently sang 4-part harmonies, and they introduced a lot of songs to America. One of the songs that I've been promising my mother for my entire life that I was going to learn Tenting Tonight on the Old Campgrounds, which was the Hutchinson family song. And but this one they also introduced. And the second tune was actually written by Dan Emmett of Mount Vernon, Ohio, which is 100 miles north of the Manson-Nixon line. So technically he was a northerner, even though he wrote an instruction manual for the musicians in the Northern Army, but he was in the Virginia Minstrels, very important early banjo player and fiddler, and this tune of his became the anthem of the Confederacy. So I'll just withdraw into the auto harp here for a couple minutes. So. All right, Civil War medley. Let's rally round the flag, boys. Joyce, come join me for a song. We're going to do a non-Memorial Day song. This is kind of in honor of John Prine.
Oh, yeah. I wondered if it was a John Prine when I first heard it, but it's a Harvey Reid. It's a Harvey Reid song.
Oh, but I was going to go get my... Here, you have to tell them more about... Tell them what they can do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we should mention donations, especially now that we have a boat.
It's from the 1980s. You can, yeah.
Oh, the song?
No, the boat.
The boat. Oh, yeah. It was a free boat. It was a free boat.
We're going to learn that song by Leonard Skinner, right? Free boat. Yeah, isn't that a great...
Free boat.
Yeah.
We just decided to say yes to this crazy...
is that Mike? You're gonna be my
held on to
Vanna
it for
White there. Thank you so much.
It was a big yes, an adventure, and I kind of a quarantine millstone around my teenage boy's neck. I thought maybe I can't afford a swimming pool, so I thought a free boat. If it just sits there in the yard, it's like a nice place for the boys to sit But they started ripping it apart already, and thank you, Steve, for coming
Of course,
by.
the wheel fell off on the way here from Massachusetts. So
yeah,
that
it was very dramatic stories. I'm not ready quite to tell it all. I'm glad to be alive. I'm glad my children are alive, and it's right on the corner where all of our neighbors drive by. So we're a spectacle, and it's going to be a community building thing. Like people will stop and talk to us. Be good.
Yeah, laugh at us.
Yeah.
We don't know anything.
Everyone has boats. Everyone has ever had a boat has boat stories. So we'll be starting to hear all those. All right, so this is a great song. I love this song that you wrote. I think my favorite line is, "Falling in love is like getting out of jail."
I've always felt that way. Boy, is that never mind. I've been pontificating more than I should. Here we go.
Oh, and I help with this one.
One called Losers in Love. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. First we roll over, then we start crawling like a little kid learning to walk. We keep falling. Through the laughing and crying, we try and we fail. Falling in love is like getting out of jail. It's clear to see there's no clear winner, no saints here, just two sinners. Checkmate, stalemate when push comes to shove. Is it a lost cause? Two losers in love. It starts so easy, it stops on a dime. It fools most of the people, most of the time. Somebody got lucky, somebody got mad. Nobody gave it all they had. Two losers in love, what did we learn? To everything turn, it's your turn. Hope springs eternal, time heals all. Two losers in love, two backs to the wall. Is it too late now for this woman and man? Is it too much water over one more dam? Is it too much to ask from heaven above to bring happiness to these losers in love? Is it too late now for this woman and man? Is it too much water over one more dam? Damn. Is it too much to ask from heaven above to bring happiness to these losers in love? Is it too much to ask from heaven above to bring happiness to these losers in love? Losers in Love.
Yeah. Time to write Winners in Love.
Oh, yeah.
The sequel.
We won't talk about all our own losses.
Yeah.
It's time for you to do one more song.
It is? Okay.
I have to get
I
this.
should have been tuning, but we'll see how I do.
Did you tell them about that they can donate on our websites
Oh, no,
at
I
Woodpecker?
was getting around to
People
that.
have been so generous with us. Thank you. I guess you understand that we can't play gigs anymore, so this is it. We're going to probably move out to our barn. It's an unheated building, and now we're in our overheated building.
Yeah.
Suddenly, overheated building.
I want to apologize that when you give donations on our website, that's the best place, joyscream.com, woodpecker.com, with PayPal or credit card. We don't take Venmo yet, but we'll get there. Someone was asking about that. I'm sorry that we haven't been automatically sending you emails just to let you know that we're getting your donations, and I just feel like sending you roses, you know. It's like when you get a really important email and you don't respond right away because it's so great you don't know what to say, and then
we wanted to handwrite them cards, and then we don't even know all their names
we don't
or
know.
their addresses.
It's strange. We don't always know your names. Yeah. Anyway, communicate with us any way you can find. Harvey's starting to get on Facebook. I think. Harvey! Oh my God, we were going to read a line from your new... Is that going to be next week? I guess that's going to be next week. Harvey came out with his Troubadour Chronicles. He's been writing this book for 3.5 years. And anyone who's lived with anyone who's been writing a book for 3.5 years knows that's, you know, it's a big deal to finish. And so anyway, it's available. It's available, and I know a lot of you have bought it. You can buy it from Amazon directly and get it before we even get our copies. Or you can buy it from us, and our copies will be here early June.
Yep. And they'll be autographed.
So,
What are you going to song for us?
I am going to sing Two Soldiers.
Oh, great.
This is a song that I wrote after hearing a friend of mine tell this Native American story, which is basically what this song is. But I can't help but think about, it's about two tribes that don't get along. And can't help but think that there's, you know, there's tribes everywhere, and we're, you know, in our own country we're not getting along. And so there's all kinds of strange wars going on. I'd like to be a person of peace. It's not always easy, but boy, things are getting strange out there right now, and I think we just all have to have a lot of patience with each other and with different, gotta be gentle as we can, but I know it's, anyway, I have to listen to more music. It's called Two Soldiers. It's on my Love and Thirst album on my Peace trilogy. Green valley, like so many valleys, a deep river where waters run clear. Two tribes, one on either side, they live in peace till they started to fear. So they started to fight, fought with all their might. Only women and children were spared, so that the war could continue through generations. The valley with death and destruction was layered. No one remembers the reasons that the fights began, but death took more every season, till each side was left with one man. Red river of blood, two lone soldiers, they truce till daybreak and fall where they stand. They can't sleep, so they tell stories. Two weary men lay on a broken land. What do we do? What do we do? Spoken to you, you've never spoken to me, I've never spoken to you. What do we do? What do we do? You've never listened to me, I've never listened to you. They speak of childhood, they speak of growing into men. They speak of falling in love. They speak of wives. They speak of children. Tell their stories of the stars above. The dawn breaks. The silent, lying still beneath a rosy sky. The first sun they see draws them slowly to their feet. They look each other in the eye. What do we do? What do we do? You're supposed to hate me. I'm supposed to hate you. What do we do? What do we do? You're supposed to kill me. I'm supposed to kill you. Red river of blood, two survivors, a river of tears they could cry. The weary soldiers embrace each other. They refuse to perpetuate the lie. What do we do? What can we do? You can understand me, and I can understand you. What do we do? What can we do? You can love me, and I can love you. A green valley like so many valleys, a deep river where waters run clear. Two tribes, one on either side, they live in peace till they started fear. Play my tambourine now?
You can take this with you and put yours there.
You doing another?
I'm going to do one. I've got one more Memorial Day song for you tonight. This is a really, really old song. It's close to 500 years old. They don't know for sure. Child ballad number 210. If anybody cares. To me, the two things that are most interesting about it is how easy it is to understand what it's about. Some of the really old songs are pretty obscure. And the other thing that's interesting about it is how short it is. I'm sure it must have had longer versions. Some of those Sir Gawain and the Green Knight run for 40 pages. This is only 11 lines long, and it punches you right in the nose there. There's no mystery about what they're talking about here. High upon the highland and low upon the Tay, Bonnie George Campbell rode out on a day. Saddled and bridled,
so gallant to see. Home came his good horse, but never came he. Down came his old mother with a heart full of care. Down came his bonny bride, a comb in her hair. The meadow lies green, and the corn is unshorn. Bonnie George Campbell will never return. Saddled and bridled and booted rode he, a plume in his helmet and a sword at his knee. Home came his saddle, all bloody to see. Home came his good horse, never came he. Home came his saddle, all bloody to see. Home came his good horse, but never came he. Bonnie George Campbell.
Beautiful.
Another of the great of the fallen.
I tried to steal that song from you. I'll do my
you did the best
sometime.
version ever on your viola, tuned in a funny tuning.
Yeah, I forget
these
what the tuning.
These violin viola people are so chicken to put their instrument in another tuning that they.
Oh, a lot of people playing a lot of tunings on fiddle.
But a lot of you are chicken. You know that.
Chicken?
Maybe that's not the word.
It's just a pain. I just.
Well, reluctant.
Yeah.
We guitar people, we love to mess around. In fact, that last one, you may have noticed all those funny capos, but I've also changed the tuning both. It's a hybrid.
Oh, I wish we
tuning.
brought your book. Well, we don't even have one. Not the newest version.
No, we don't.
If
So
we
what are we
read
doing?
it.
Oh, we're going to get on the regular guitar.
Right. Next week will we have it?
I don't know. They won't tell us. It's not, books about music are not essential items, so you can't. So what are we doing? We have 2 more songs for you. I guess we're
my goodness.
We're gonna do our gospel song.
Are we? Okay. Wow, it's quite a song.
Well, we had a gig for a couple of years. We played an alternative church service at our beloved First Parish Church of York, Maine, down the street, and we worked up a bunch of new songs and renovated some older ones. It was a wonderful thing to
I know
participate in our community.
Yeah, it was. It was so lovely. Got our boys and some friends to come down. I was just talking to Pastor Dave at the Durham Community Church. I know Pam White, you're out there. I met with him. Maybe
that's where we were married.
We might be doing something where he was.
You were baptized and married in that church, right?
Did I marry you in that church?
We were married in the Durham.
Yeah.
I think we're married.
We're pretty sure we're married. Anyway, I had this great conversation with Pastor Dave this week. I don't think he'd mind me telling you that, we were trying to contemplate, like, when church would be getting back in, and it's like, well, you just can't wait around for that to happen, so maybe we'll make something happen before church is coming around, too. some different kind of church music.
Well, the president called for all the churches to open, no matter what.
Really?
Today, yeah.
Oh.
Whatever. Maybe he'll
good
go
for
to
him.
one. Finally. I don't know why he cares if they're open
Do
if
I
he
even
doesn't
play
go.
fiddle on this? Sometimes.
We'll find out.
What key are we in?
We're in the key of
D. D.
Boy, it's going to be hard to not get a little bit of the Jordanaires groove going here. This is one of our favorite stories from the Bible too.
The woman at the well. Yeah, I guess she came in the middle of the day, so that's kind of a sign that she wasn't coming early in the morning when she would have been kind of shunned by the other more traditional women.
Here we go.
You go?
Jesus met the woman at the well. Jesus met the woman at the well. Jesus met the woman at the well. And he told her everything she'd ever done. He said, woman, woman, where is your husband? He said, woman, woman, where is your husband? He said, woman, woman, where is your husband? I know everything you've ever done. She said, Jesus, Jesus, I ain't got no husband. She said, Jesus, Jesus, I ain't got no husband. She said, Jesus, Jesus, I ain't got no husband. You don't know everything I've ever done. He said, woman, woman, you've got 5 husbands. He said, woman, woman, you've got 5 husbands. He said, woman, woman, you've got 5 husbands. And the one you've got now, he's not your own. She said, Jesus, this man must be a prophet. She said, this man must be a prophet. She said, this man must be a prophet. He done told me everything I've ever done. Jesus met the woman at the well. Jesus met the woman at the well. Jesus met the woman at the well.
a lesson for us to not judge each other. You know, I'm really starting to realize when you don't, like, judge yourself so much. Lucky! You don't judge other people, so just work on not judging yourself, and then you'll naturally...
Can you get him up on the chair?
Oh, my goodness sakes! Hello there!
Our puppy's here.
How can we show you our dog? We don't have a cameraman.
Oh, yeah.
Lucky! Come here. He's taught so firmly not to jump up, he won't do it. All right.
Yeah.
All right, the house is open. Usually it's all like shut to keep the heat in different rooms. We did not name our son after the Otto in this song, but
this is we're done with religious songs and tributes to, well, there's fallen people in this song, but they're not soldiers. This is one of the bad guy ballads. There's a whole class of songs about criminals and crimes. They used to write songs about people, Jesse James and Pretty Boy Floyd and the Cole Younger. There's a whole slew of those. Brennan on the moor, robbing people.
Oh, here he goes. Can you see him? No, not quite.
He's shy. You're going to traumatize him. He'll never want to come in here.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm gonna knock over
This guy, the protagonist, I want to call him a hero, but he was a folk hero. He's one of those people that, and I'm going to send this out. I don't know the woman's name, but I played at in Riverside, California, long ago at the Barn. It was a great folk gig there, and an elderly woman came up to me, and she wagged her finger at me. I gotta let
you wagged your finger at me the other day.
Yeah.
You must have crossed over.
It's right
into
up there with
new threshold of. It's the beard, baby.
Oh yeah. My coronavirus. Robinson Crusoe. I feel like Ernest.
You got really rosy cheeks now.
Yeah, I feel like
too.
I'm a scientist, a drunken scientist in Antarctica here. But this woman told me when she wagged.
You look great.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. When she wagged her finger at me, she said, "You know, when I was a little girl in North Carolina, my mother and I went to bake that man a pie and took it to him in prison." So, and it was only from the 20th century, but they still don't know where the song came from. This ballad has been done a lot of different ways.
That's an amazing story.
That's how old I am.
Yeah. That was my first thought, is Otto's not going to have any stories like that. He's going to have boat stories, though. Oh, somebody asked what kind of boat is it? It's a motor... Oh, sorry. What was it? It's a motorboat. It's a 22-foot motorboat.
4 winds.
It's a 4 winds. With an inboard-outboard motor.
So this guy... This is my favorite of the bad guy ballads, and we'll send you off. This will be our closing song tonight. We'll encourage you to join us again next week. Same bat time and same bat station.
Yeah.
We haven't had a bat up here on this floor in a long time. That's sad. I guess the bats are having trouble. The honeybees are having trouble. The bats are having trouble. But you've never heard this woman scream until there's been a bat in the building.
It makes me scream.
I didn't know you could make a sound like that.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe that's where Little Richard got his
well, I'm trying to harness Little Richard.
Yeah, well, I'll bring a bat.
I'll just try and remember the bat.
I'll set a bat loose in here and you'll scream better than Little Richard. But this song, I think, has the best lyrics of all the bad guy ballads. And if you remove the music, it's actually a rap song, because he loved the ladies and hated the law, and he just wouldn't take nobody's job. The story of Otto Wood the Bandit. Can I, will you function if I have my big foot up here? Step up, boys, and listen to my song. Sing it you right, but you won't take it wrong. It's all about a man they call Otto Wood. I can't tell y'all, but I wish I could. Stepped in a pawn shop a rainy day. Then he had a quarrel with the clerk, they say. Pulled out his pistol, shot the fatal blows. That is the way the story goes. Otto, why didn't you run? Otto's done dead and gone. Otto Wood, why didn't you run when the sheriff pulled out that 44 gun? I spread the news as fast as could. Sheriff put a warrant on an Otto. Jury said murder in the second degree. The judge passed sentence to the penitentiary. They stuck him in the pen, but it done no good. Couldn't hold a man they called Otto. In a very little while he slipped outside, put a gun on the guard, said take me for a ride. Otto, why didn't you run? Otto's done dead and gone. Otto Wood, why didn't you run when the sheriff pulled out that 44 gun? Second time they caught him, his way out west. In a hold'em game, he got shot in the breast. They drug him back, and when he got well, they locked him down in a dungeon cell. He was a man that would not run, always carried a 44 gun. He loved the ladies, hated the law, just wouldn't take nobody's jaw. Otto, why didn't you run? Otto's done dead and gone. Otto Wood, why didn't you run when the sheriff pulled out that 44 gun? He rambled out west, rambled all around. Met two sheriffs in a southern town. They said, Otto, better step to the way. We've been expecting you every day. Pulled out his pistol, then he said, make a crooked move and he both fall dead. Crank up the car, take me out of town. A few minutes later he was graveyard bound. Otto, why didn't you run? Otto's done dead and gone. Otto Wood, why didn't you run when the sheriff pulled out that 44 gun? Otto, why didn't you run? Otto's done dead and gone. Otto Wood, why didn't you run when the sheriff pulled out that 44 gun? Otto, why didn't you run? Otto's done dead and gone. Otto Wood, why didn't you run when the sheriff pulled out that 44 gun? Make a crooked move and you both fall dead.
Oh, boy.
Thanks, everybody. We love you. Come again next week.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming. Showing up is great.
Big
That's
hand.
enough. If you want to donate, you can go to joyscream.com or woodpecker.com. Invite your friends. Subscribe. That really helps us. Trying to get to 1,000 viewers, so on my channel anyway, so that I can... I made a deal with my boys that they're going to join me on saxophone and trumpet. So...
Big hand for the great Joyce Anderson.
Harvey Reid, man. Look for his book. All right. See you next time. Tell all your friends.
See if I can get my Chuck Berry duck walk. How to hurt yourself.